3 to 1, he is playing 3 to 1, though sure to lose, said of one engaged in an amorous congress. Threepenny Upright, a retailer of love, who for the sum mentioned dispenses her favours standing against a wall. Three-legged mare or stall. The gallows, formerly consisting of 3 posts, over which were laid 3 transverse beams, this clumsy machine has lately given place to an elegant contrivance, called the new drop, by which the use of that vulgar vehicle, a cart or mechanical instrument, a ladder, is also avoided, the patients being left suspended by the dropping down of that part of the floor on which they stand. This invention was first made use of for a pier. See drop. 3 threads, half common ale, mixed with stale and double beer. Freps, 3pence. To throttle, to strangle. Throttle, the throat or gullet. To thrum, to play on any instrument stinged with wire. A thrummer of wire, a player on the spinet, harpsichord, or guitar. Thrums, 3pence. Thumb, by rule of thumb, to do anything by dint or practice. To kiss one's thumb instead of the book, a vulgar expedient to avoid perjury and taking a false oath. Firmicins, an instrument formerly used in Scotland like a vice, or to pinch the thumbs of persons accused of different crimes in order to extort confession. Thump, a blow, this better than a thump on the back with a stone, said on giving anyone a drink of liquor, good liquor, on a cold morning. Thatch, thistle, thunder and thump, words to the Irish like a stibboleth of the Hebrews. Thumping, great, a thumping boy. Thwack, a great blow with a stick across the shoulders. Tib, a young lass. Tibby, a cat. Tib of the buttery, a goose cunt. St. Tib's evening, the evening of the last day of judgment. He will pay you on St. Tib's eve. Irish. Tick, to run o' tick, take up goods upon trust, to run in debt. Tick a watch, see sessions papers. Tickle text, a parson. Tickle pitch keb, a thirsty fellow, a sot. Tickle tail, a rod or schoolmaster, a man's penis. Tickrum, a license. Tiddy, tidy, neat. Tiffing, eating or drinking out of a mealtime. Disputing or falling out, also lying with a wench. A tiff of punch, a small bowl of punch. Tilbucky, 6pence, so called from its formerly being the fare for crossing over from Gravesend to Tilbury Fort. Tilt, to fight with a sword. To run full tilt against one, allusion to the ancient tilling with the lance. Tilter, a sword. Tim whiskey, a light one. Horse chase without a head. Timber toe, a man with a wooden leg. Tiny, little. To tip, to give or lend. Tip me your daddle, give me your hand. Tip me a hog, give me a shilling. To tip the lion, to flatten a man's nose with the thumb, and at the same time to extend his mouth with the fingers, thereby giving him a sort of lion-like countenance. To tip the velvet, tonguing woman. To tip all 9, to knock down all the 9 pins at once, at the game of bows or skittles. Tipping at these games is slightly touching the tops of the pins with a bowl. Tip a draught, don't spoil his tip. Tip-top, the best perhaps from fruit that growing at the top of the tree being generally the best, as partaking most of the sun. A tip-top workman, the best or most excellent workman. Tipperary fortune, 2 town lands, streams, towns and Ballynocock, said of Irish women without fortune. Tipple, liquor. Tipplers, sots who are continually sipping. Tipsy, almost drunk. Tiring, dressing perhaps abbreviation of a tiring. Tiring women or tire women, but women that use to cut ladies' hair and dress them. Tit, a horse. A pretty little tit, a smart little girl. A tit or tidbit, a delicate morsel. Tommy Tit, a smart, lively little fellow. Tit for tat, an equivalent. To titter, to suppress a laugh. Titter-tatter, one reeling and ready to fall at the least touch. Also the childish amusements of riding upon the 2 ends of a plank, poised upon the prop underneath its centre, called also seesaw. Perhaps tatter is a rustic pronunciation of totter. Tittle-tattle, idle discourse, scandal, women's talk or small talk. Tit-up, a gentle hand gallop or canter. Tizzy, 6pence. Toad-eater, a poor female relation and humble companion or reduced gentlewoman in a great family. the standing butt on whom all kinds of practical jokes are played off and all ill humours vented. This appellation is derived from a mountebank servant on whom all experiments used to be made in public by the doctor, his master, among which was the eating of toads, formerly supposed poisonous. Swallowing toads is here figuratively meant for swallowing or putting up with insults as disagreeable to a person, or feeling as toads to the stomach. Toad in a hole, meat baked or boiled in pie crust. He or she sits like a toad on a chopping block, a saying of any who sits like ill on horseback, as much need of it as a toad of a side pocket, said of a person who desires anything for which he has no real occasion, as full of money as a toad is of feathers. Toast, a health, also a beautiful woman whose health is often drank by men. The origin of this term, as it is said, was this: a beautiful lady bathing in a cold bath, one of her admirers, out of gallantry, drank some of the water, whereupon another of her lovers observed he never drank in the morning, but he would kiss the toast and immediately saluted the lady. Toasting iron or cheese toaster, a sword. Toby lay, the highway. High Toby man, a highwayman. Low Toby man, a footpad. Tobacco, a plant, once in great estimation as a medicine. Tobacco hick will make you well if you sick. Tobacco hick will make you well if you be sick. Tobacco hick will you be well if you be well will make you sick. Toddy, originally the juice of the cocoa tree, and afterwards rum, water, sugar, and nutmeg. Toddle, to walk away the cove was touting, but stagging the traps he toddled. B was looking out, and feeing the officers he walked away. Todge, beetle to todge, said of anything beat to mash. Todge, a coat, cunt. Todgeman's the same, cunt. Togs, clothes, the swell is rum tog, the gentleman is handsomely dressed. Token, the plague, also the venereal disease. She tipped him the token, she gave him a clap or pox. Toll or toldo, a sword or from Spanish swords made at the Toledo, which place was famous for sword blades of an extraordinary temper. Taliban rig, a species of cheat carried on by a woman, assuming the character of a dumb and deaf conjurer. Tom Turdman, a night man who empties necessary houses. Tomboy, a romping girl who prefers the amusement used by boys to those of her own sex. Tom of Bedlam, the same as Abraham man. Tom Coney, a simple fellow. Tom Long, a tiresome storyteller. It is coming by Tom Long, the carrier, said of anything that has been long expected. Tom Thumb, a dwarf, a little hop on my thumb. Tommy, soft Tommy or white Tommy. Bread is so called by sailors to distinguish it from biscuit. Brown Tommy, ammunition, bread for soldiers. Or brown, bread given to convicts at the hulks. Tomorrow, come never. When 2 Sundays come together, never. Tongue enough for 2 sets of teeth, said of a talkative person, as old as my tongue and a little older than my teeth. A dovetail in answer to the question, how old are you? Tongue pad, a scold or nimble-tongued person. Tony, a silly fellow or ninny. A mere Tony, a simpleton. Tools, the private parts of a man. Tool, the instrument of any person or faction. A cat's paw. See cat's paw. Tooth music, chewing. Toothpick, a large stick. An ironical expression. Topper, a violent blow on the head. Top ropes, to sway away on all the ropes. To live riotously or extravagantly. To top, to cheat or trick. Also to insult. He thought to have topped upon me. Top, the signal among tailors. For snuffing the candles, he who last pronounces that word is obliged to get up and perform the operation. To be topped, to be hanged. The cove was topped for smashing queer screens. He was hanged for uttering forged banknotes. Top diver, a lover of women. An old diver, one who has loved old hat in his time.